That smells so beautiful. It smells like the flavour of elderflower cordial. Stunning pink flower that gives your lemonade a little bit of a pink blush. This dark leaf hedge plant behind me here has a broad variety of culinary and medicinal uses. And it even has a little bit of magic, including being a barrier to witches who may intend to enter my property. The flowers all went within about a day. Hello, this episode is all about Sambucus nigra, the elder plant, how to grow elder in a small garden in a cool temperate climate, and how to use this amazingly pretty and medicinally valuable plant in your garden, where you can not only eat these edible flowers, but also the berries later on in the season, if you don't eat all the flowers first. The smell is sweet and sherbety. It is a lovely smell of spring. The ideal conditions for growing an elder is a cool climate, full sun to semi-shade, a moist soil that's not too boggy, and a nice bit of fertility in the soil. However, this plant thrives in a variety of diverse conditions. It's a hardy plant that's pretty bomb-proof. It is a deciduous plant. I think it can go down to about minus 20 degrees centigrade, and perhaps further too. So very hardy in a cool environment, but it also grows okay in warmer climates. And in Australia, this plant can grow from Tasmania all the way up to the tropics of Queensland. And so a very versatile plant. And usually when you think versatile, you can also have a think about, is this going to get away into the wild environment or into your own garden? So hardy plants have their pluses in that you don't have to put as much effort and work into maintaining them. I don't even water this plant very much. I water some plants in and around it, but I can honestly say I don't water this plant, and that's probably one of its highest needs. My plant is growing in semi-shade. It gets a little bit of morning sunshine, a bit of evening sunshine, but very little, and that's because it's growing close to a very large pin oak tree. The plant is also not super fussy about soil. The elderberry plant is indigenous to many parts of the world. Europe, Asia, the Americas, North Africa, and Australia has its own native elderberry, Sambucus gaudiana, and this is the white elderberry, and it has a white fruit that turns opaque when ripening. The plants of the same family, they're like cousins, the Sambucus family. The Australian variety is for another episode. My variety is called Sambucus nigra Black Beauty, and it's a particularly beautiful variety with a dark purplish green foliage, and the flowers are quite pinkish in colour. And when you're making jellies or drinks, the colour infuses and it gives it a nice pink blush. The variety originated in the UK, in Kent, England, and I'm pretty sure it will be spread across the planet now because it's gorgeous. I had a more generic Sambucus nigra variety. I remember buying it and it just said elderflower. It didn't have any kind of variety to it, and it was advertised as not producing the berry. And when I originally purchased it, I was considering that although the elderflower is not registered as a noxious weed in the ACT, it is on the watch list, so it is one to look out for, and I was a bit concerned at the time of the seeds spreading. I've never seen a single seedling produced off my Black Beauty, nor has it really suckered. It's got a strong little trunk and maybe a couple of little bits coming out the side, but in general it's got an upright kind of shape, and that's a blessing because the other variety, that generic elderflower variety, was a garden thug, and I grew it just here behind me, and it suckered like crazy. So its seeds didn't spread, but the plant was so much work to get on top of. I had to constantly be vigilant to pull up the suckers. I took that plant out in 2018 because it drove me nuts with the suckering. It was also really tall. It seemed to grow to about 4 meters high, and it shaded this whole area here, and it was just too much. So it did exceptionally well in the garden. For years, including this year, I am still pulling out suckers, and we pulled out a root that was about this big from that tree. But anyway, let's go and see, because I found one. There were little bits of roots left in the soil, and it's really hard to get all the roots in this kind of situation when you're digging up a plant that's got broad spreading roots. But I do have a friend that's interested in a couple of elderflowers for her balcony, and basically with the suckers I'm just digging up the plant with a bit of root and putting it in a pot. And the plants grow reasonably well in largish containers, 50 to 60 centimetres. This is a reasonable sized pot for an elder. You can grow elderberry by its seed, but it is quite a job, and they do need some months of cold winter to germinate. So best to plant ahead of winter so they chill down in the cold, and they can take about 6 to 12 months to germinate. The easiest way is by cuttings. Take a hardwood cutting in winter or late spring, or in late spring take a softwood cutting. When looking for your softwood cutting, look for a branch with 3 nodes. That's these little areas here. Not too hard and stick-like, and not too green and soft. So something in the middle, the Goldilocks. And when planting your stick, bury it down to bury 2 of the nodes and leave the 3rd at the top to start growing. The other 2 nodes will start to form roots. I mentioned earlier about the elder that I purchased thinking it was sterile. I've since found out that there's really no sterile elders on the market, but there's definitely ones with low yield. For example, my Black Beauty variety is a low yielding variety. It's also existing in the shade, and it's also dry shade, so they're not optimal conditions for it in any case. Also, I've got a lot of birds, so the 3 berries that I have will not even likely get to full ripe with the amount of bird life that I have fossicking through. Last week, I've got elderflowers all in my hair. Well, it's just about to rain, and I think I'm at the end of my elderflower harvest for the year, and I think I just got in. So when harvesting elderflower, avoid wetting the petals and washing them. Just give them a shake to get the insects off. That fragrant smell of the petals is stronger if you don't wet the petals and wash them. And I just got the first drop of rain. Because the elder is such an ancient plant with a whole lot of different uses, there's definitely a lot of folklore around the plant and things you should and shouldn't do. Don't make a cradle out of the wood of elder. Plant it near your front door to ward off witches. Don't fall asleep under the elder or you may never wake up. And, perhaps it's to do with its mild toxicity. I definitely wouldn't advise sleeping under the elder with those leaves, breathing in the leaves. I definitely know with my care for chickens hat on that you should not graze chickens under the elder due to the toxicity of the leaves. The elderflower has a long history of herbal medicine, particularly in the areas of antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and also as a bit of a decongestant. This tea I'm making is said to be a hayfever remedy, and the recipe is equal parts lemon verbena, mint, chamomile, and elderflower. It's because my region, Canberra or the ACT, is said to be the hay fever capital. There's a lot of grasses that blow into this region. It's very pleasant tea, strongly of mint, and the mixture is really nice. I'll let you know if it cures me of hay fever. Cheers. All right, let's get cooking.
You reminded me of that this morning. My father, he looked on by. He passed on to the next line. Oh, we all have to face it someday. Better if we pray. Lord, I'm one with my soul. I'm one with the love. I'm when I am whole. Ready to return. To the light, now your ashes free in the sunny, yeah, the water's coming. We toast to your life. The wine spills and you smile, yeah, you smile. We don't need to face it someday. No matter if we're ready, we pray. Lord, I'm one with my soul. I'm one with the love.
A few weeks ago this was profusely flowering, and then the flowers all went within a day, and I miss them already because I was just so much enjoying making jellies and cordials and drinks out of the flowers. This recipe is for the famous elderflower cordial lemonade, and once you start making your own infusions of flowers and herbs, you never look at commercial products in the same light again. This recipe comes from Jackie French, who is an Australian home produce cooking legend. You can use about 20 heads of flowers in this recipe, and the main thing to think about when processing the flowers is to remove as much of the stalk as possible. Sometimes that can mean just chopping the ends off, or if you've got a bit of time, just removing the flower heads from the stalk. The stalks can be quite bitter in the mix, and they've got a bit of a mild toxicity, and so they can leave you with a bit of a tummy ache. The recipe involves 2 lemons, 5 cups of water, the 20 flower heads, and 200 grams of sugar. Allow the flowers and mixture to infuse overnight, strain the mixture, and then with the liquid boil it again for a few minutes. And then I store in sterilised jars in the fridge, and it lasts for quite a while in the fridge, many weeks, except it's usually so delicious. I've never put it to the test of how long it lasts. Cheers!
I disappeared there.
Cheers! Still got some. Might be enough to paint.
Summer is gone. Do you think of me when you're trying to sleep? I'll admit you're getting pretty hard to miss. How did it end like this? But while there's stars above you, I'll be here to love you. If you know what I mean. All of our dreams started here.